What's up and welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is going to be part 2 of this Ferrari 458 challenge car repair. And in this episode we're going to be getting our new TIG welder. We're going to be getting the core support welded in, getting all the filler work done, and we're also going to be getting this thing in primer. So stay tuned. Let's start getting this thing taken apart so we can get this old part off and this new part on. Alright, so we've got this radiator shroud off and we've got the belly pan off. The radiator is still in there. Looks like it's held in with 3 bolts. We got one there, got one there, and one back here. Now these are all rubber isolated bolts. I didn't want to pull the radiator out, but it looks like I might have to. I can weld this down here. Shouldn't be a problem. Not too close to the radiator. I can weld up there and even up in there. Shouldn't be too close to the radiator, but I have to weld right here and on the top side of this. And that's cutting it kind of close to this radiator. Unless I can maybe take it loose and just set it out of the way, I might try to do that because I really don't want to take the radiator out. So yeah, we might try that. But basically that's all that's holding this thing in, is a couple welds around here. I've got the new TIG coming, and when it gets here we'll be able to put that new piece in and get it all welded up. Our new TIG welder came in. Let's get this thing unloaded off the truck, get it all unboxed, and see what we got. Alright, so as you can see, we have a Dynasty 210DX. This is a nice piece of machinery. It actually has a liquid-cooled torch, and supposedly it welds really well. So we're going to get some scrap pieces of aluminum and start practicing our TIG welding before we start welding on this Ferrari. Alright, so I had a good friend come over and he gave us some pointers on how to weld aluminum with a TIG, and I think we've got a pretty firm grasp on this thing. It's this machine is actually pretty easy to weld with. It's pretty confidence inspiring, and I'm not saying we're perfect by any means, but I think we're getting good penetration and our welds look pretty good. So I'm pretty confident in welding in this core support on this Ferrari. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting off the old one and getting it prepped to put the new one on. Alright, so we've got this old radiator support cut out. We've got the new one set up in there, and it's held in with some clamps. And we've got the fender, the headlight. We've also got the hood set on there. And we put the bumper on there, we pulled it back off, but we had the bumper, and we're happy with the way everything fits right now. So what we're going to do next, pull it all back apart, get everything cleaned up really well, because when you're welding aluminum, they're telling me clean is the key to really good welds. So we'll get this piece back off, get everything cleaned up where we're going to be welding, set it back up there, clamp it back up there, test fit everything again, and then we can start welding on this thing. And I think when we're welding on it, Dad and I are going to probably take turns welding. I'm going to tag team it because he wants to be able to use this new TIG welder on the car, and also I want to use it. So we'll probably just let him weld a spot and I'll weld a spot. And don't tell him, but I think he's a little bit better welder than I am. So I'll probably let him do the welds that are most visible. As a final step in prepping all this aluminum for welding, we're going to be wiping everything down with acetone. Alright, so we've got the radiator support welded in. We've got one more piece that we have to weld in. It's this piece right here, and it actually goes right here. And it holds the radiator itself. So I'm going to bolt the radiator up in the other spots that it bolts up, right down there and right up in there. And then I'll bolt the radiator to this piece, which will help me get this where it needs to be. And then we can weld this onto the car. Alright, so we've got the radiator bolted in. We've got this bracket bolted up to the radiator. We've got it clamped in place. We're going to be welding it across here, down a bead through there, and a bead through there, and also welding it here, and right back in there. So, let's get this thing welded on. Alright, so we've got this radiator support, or core support, whatever you want to call it. We've got it welded on this Ferrari, and I think it turned out really nice. So now we're going to move on to repairing this fender. We're also going to finish up the repair on the quarter panel, repair the door, and the front bumper cover. Now, something I should tell you about the front bumper cover, the new one that he purchased, it's supposed to be an updated bumper, is actually the exact same bumper, the one that's on the car. It has the inside fin pieces which bolt onto the bumper, and this bumper is missing them because you can't bolt them on because it has a hole cut out in the center for the brake ducts. So I'm just going to repair the bumper that's on the car because it is in better shape than the one he's purchased. He can just hang on to that one just in case he ever needs one in the future. Alright, so we got the mirror, the belt molding, and the handle, outside handle off of this door. We're going to go ahead and pull the door off. And it looks like it just pulls straight up out of these hinges. There's supposed to be like a little lock nut in there and in there, but I don't see one in there. So this door should lift right off. Alright, so we've got all the repair work done, so let's get everything taped up and primed. Alright, so we're going to let this primer dry overnight. We'll come back tomorrow, get everything sanded and prepped for paint.
There's a couple of theories out there how to argue with a woman. Take it from me, neither one of them works.
Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to the channel and click on the notifications, that way you won't miss any future content. If you have any thoughts or questions about the video, leave it in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya!